Hello and welcome to another edition of ProtoMet Tries, and in today's video I'm going to be trying 3 varieties of Kraft mac and cheese cups. Specifically I'm going to be trying Jalapeño, Ranch, and Everything Bagel. I was out shopping recently, saw these, decided to pick these up. If you're wondering why I don't have just a regular mac and cheese cup, come on, who hasn't had mac and cheese? You have one mac and cheese, you had a bunch of mac and cheese. Not all mac and cheese, but if you had like a Kraft mac and cheese, you're not going to get too much different unless the flavor is actively different. Which is why I'm trying these. Gonna start with the jalapeno because I feel like this is the flavor that I'm not going to care for that much. That having been said, I can understand why people would like a jalapeno mac and cheese. I can understand the appeal. I just don't think it will be for me. But who knows? Maybe I'll be wrong. Maybe this will actually be quite good. There's really only one way to find out, and that's to actually try it in 3, 2, 1. Wait a second. Much safer. 3, 2, 1. I mean, I'd show you what it looks like, but I haven't actually stirred it yet. Also, when you are microwaving this, it is possible this will boil over. That's actually part of the reason why I don't get Kraft mac and cheese cups very often. It's because even when I fill it to the fill line, it'll always boil over and make a watery mess inside of the microwave. I'm gonna suspect that these other two are gonna have the same issues. Alright, take a look at that. I don't know, maybe it's just me and the lighting, but this has like a sickly green color to it. Again, maybe it's just lighting, but it doesn't really look appetizing. Who knows, maybe it's them adding a green tint to indicate that it's, you know, jalapeno, but just looking at it, it doesn't look appetizing. Let's give it a smell. That's mac and cheese. Not a very good mac and cheese either. I have definitely had... I don't really smell anything in the way of the jalapeno. But who knows, maybe it's all in the taste. I got what felt like an undercooked noodle. I can definitely say that it's spicy. It does have a bit of a jalapeno taste, but they definitely decided to go with spicy. Which is fine. They don't really indicate that it's supposed to be spicy, but if you're getting something jalapeno flavored, I suppose you kind of expect it to be spicy, so fair enough. But it's not terrible. it is not something I would pick up again, but that's mostly because it'll boil over. And that's just an issue that I generally have with these mac and cheese cups. Their tendency to boil over is pretty high. I always find it interesting when they decide to combine cheese with spicy, because cheese is derived from milk, which is used to soothe the spiciness. I'm pretty sure I've mentioned this in a video before, but yeah. It's almost like they were like, we know that there's technically a sort of treatment for spiciness. How can we neutralize that treatment? How about render it in cheese? Render the spices in cheese. Again, not bad, but the kind of green color does. Again, maybe it's the light passing through the cup. Although even looking at it like this, it looks a bit sickly. Who knows, maybe one of the others will be better. Let's go with ranch this time. In 3, 2, 1. Gotta stir it up before presenting it. I can kind of smell it already. It's got a pleasant aroma. A sort of cheesy ranch aroma. I mean, I'm gonna have to really get my nose in there to get a good sniff, but even from here, yeah, a bit of a ranchy, cheesy scent. Now this also has a bit of the sickly green color to it, unfortunately. Again, this might just be the lighting, but it does not look that appetizing to me personally. But how does it taste? Cheesy ranch. Nothing spectacular. Not terrible. A decent change of pace for a mac and cheese. Got an unchewed noodle down the wrong pipe. I'm fine though. It's definitely got a more subtler ranch flavor to it. I think having the spoon absolutely covered in the seasoning was what made the first bite taste so ranchy. But getting everything mixed together like this, the ranch taste actually does kind of lose out a bit to the cheese. That having been said, it is, like I said, a nice change of pace from your standard mac and cheese flavor. But nothing that really wows you, if that makes sense. Nothing that immediately screams, I have to have this again. This is so good. I do prefer this over the jalapeno flavor. That one was, I mean, it was jalapeno flavored. Which again, I can understand the appeal. It's just not for me. And the ranch, yeah, makes sense. I can understand why they would go for a ranch flavor. I think ranch tends to be a bit cheesy. I mean, I don't have it very often. But I do know that they use ranch for dips for spicy stuff. So maybe it has a cooling effect, which makes it pretty well complemented towards the cheese, the neutralizing effect of milk. But yeah, perfectly fine. I think I might actually just prefer regular mac and cheese to this, personally. But like every so often, I might be like, oh, I'll try the ranch flavor. So last up, we have the everything bagel variety. Let's give it a shot in 3, 2, 1. Well, I can tell you right away that it actually smells a bit nicer than the other two. Actually, I feel like I'm having a harder time mixing everything together. Maybe it's just because of how long it took between microwaving this and filming this. Maybe that makes the water a bit thick, or I want to say thicker. Makes the water level less because it evaporated. Here's what it looks like. A bit pale in comparison, but not necessarily unappetizing. I mean, it certainly doesn't look nearly as bad as the ones from these two. Get a good smell. That's certainly a I want to say a bagel-y, but like a poppy seed, herby. Like, I can definitely understand why this would be called everything bagel. Like, they put everything that you might expect from an everything bagel into this, by the looks of it. Well, just about. And enough to get the scent. Anyway, let's give it a taste. It does include poppy seeds, which I think actually helps with the flavor. It certainly makes it a bit crunchier than you would expect, but not in a bad way. Like, it'd be one thing if it were like crunchy noodles in something like this. That would be unappetizing. But thankfully the crunchiness is limited to the poppy seeds. As far as the taste, I think it's the best of the three I've done in this video. But I would still probably just pick up some regular mac and cheese. The sun is shining on my beard, making it all glittery in like one area. There we go, problem solved. Got some flavoring stuck to the spoon. But yeah, this is perfectly fine. I'd say if I was feeling a bit, what's the word? A bit adventurous, I'd probably go for this over a regular mac and cheese. But I don't really pick up mac and cheese all that often. Let alone these cups, which are a pain in the ass to clean up after. Because like I said, you fill these to the line and they'll still boil over, at least in my microwave. Leaving a huge puddle of water that I gotta use a ridiculous amount of paper towels to clean up. And that's on top of the paper towel I gotta put this on while I'm cleaning up the rest, because the bottom of this gets all wet. But yeah, just for the cleanup alone, no, not gonna pick up any of these again. But if I had to pick in ascending order, which was my favorite of the three, the jalapeno is dead last. Just didn't care for the taste, and that's purely me thing. Again, I've said that before, but I can understand the appeal of having a spicy mac and cheese. That's fine. Next would be the ranch, which I felt tasted better, but wasn't spectacular. And then this one, everything bagel, which I actually think is fairly solid. It's good. And by the way, no, I didn't just have these sitting around waiting. I filmed this across 3 days. These are empty. I just kept these for the visual, for this final part of the video. But yeah, if you're interested, give these a shot. I'm not, so I won't again. But until next time, I'm ProtoMet. See ya.